All right, there we go. All right, Ryan, I think you're probably the only one in the stream, so hey, Ryan. um, Anybody who ends up watching this after the fact, first I should say, hey, I'm Dylan over here it will be Flipside Music. I'm at the new spot, and I'm basically just testing some pedals, testing some audio stuff, trying to make sure everything is working because every other time I seem to do this, it goes terrible. So, um, Anyway, let me see what's going on now. I'm getting a warning saying that the audio bitrate might have just dropped, so give me a sec. Okay, yeah, you guys just let me know if you can hear everything okay. For some reason, I just got a warning saying that the streaming bitrate dropped, so just let me know if it sounds okay before I go too far into this. Oh, hey, Paul. Look, cool. If I keep looking this way, it's because I got to look at the chat, so. Um, but yes, yeah, Ryan, I'm definitely working at the gremlins because we have a lot of gremlins and I can't seem to get rid of them. I'm hoping it's working this time. Like I said, you guys just let me know. At this point, I'm just kind of winging it, so you guys let me know if it's working. Okay, cool. Oh, Gary joined. Hey, Jerry, or Gary, almost said Jerry. A little tired. It was a long day over at the other shop, but like I said, I still wanted to do this. I was actually planning it for tomorrow, but Ike ended up actually getting tickets for us to go see the Goonies. So we're taking a bunch of the guys. I think it's like 6 of us going to the Goonies tomorrow at the Alamo. So anyway, I decided I was going to go ahead and do the stream tonight. Right now, I'm honestly just kind of killing a little time, seeing if everything's all right before I start getting into these pedals. But yeah, Ryan. Yeah, Ryan said you having issues trying to get good guitar tones live stream. Honestly, that's the main thing. Is like one, I want it to sound good. I'm trying to get it to look good, which it's hard to tell right here. The the playback is always like a little wonky, but I'm always trying to get it to at least sound right, look good, and then hopefully be in sync because that's the other part. So, and you're right. Yeah, the voice like doing one or the other is always easier. Like it's honestly trying to get like the live audio with the mixer because essentially over here I'm like working with the main mixer and then on the computer I've got the virtual mixer and trying to get the two to just jive and not give me grief is the issue. But yeah, honestly, Ryan, like once I get a little better at this, obviously, once I've proven I can even do this, then uh, then I'll go ahead and if you ever need help with it, obviously, just let me know. Looks like a few of you guys are actually wandering in, so as long as everything sounds good, if you guys give me a couple thumbs up, then I'll start getting into the whole pedal stuff that I got. Um, is it over this way? Yeah. Yeah, Ryan, like too. I'll kill a little bit of time until, like I said, until you guys say it sounds good and looks good right now. But um, yeah, so the main thing, Ryan, that I've had issues with is essentially we have the mixer, which is like I said, it's a 16 channel mixer that's over here. I'm trying to use that. It's also an interface, so it's all each input is independent, which is nice. And that part was kind of the main hang up I was having when we were trying to use like a mixer into an interface and then into the computer. And so now trying to use the essentially trying to use the mixer exclusively. I thought that was going to knock it out, but I ended up having this issue where because it's essentially consolidating multiple sound inputs down to just one output, it was very hard to then get it to kind of distinguish a little bit more within like the streaming software. So I finally, this customer of ours actually, he apparently used to work for Moog doing a lot of their live stream stuff. And so he ended up telling me that it's called voice meter, but it's spelled like Meeter instead of like, like a normal meter. Um, but essentially, that's what he told me to use, and it's a virtual mixer. And I got to tell you, it's kind of ridiculously complicated at first, but once you get into it, once you use it a little bit, it is kind of a lifesaver when it comes to doing some of this. But I'm just trying to get a little bit better at it because essentially within the mixer you have the ability to kind of independently do everything like you would with a physical mixer, but you're doing it all kind of behind the scenes. And so trying to get everything to make sure that like your inputs, essentially your inputs are outputs and your outputs are inputs. So it gets very confusing. So you kind of got to go in and like relabel all this stuff. But I did finally get it. And then, hey, to anybody else who's joining, it looks like I got a few more people joining. Looks like Jimmy and Janice just joined. So hey guys. And honestly, I do appreciate anybody who's watching because I think Ben is probably, I think it's 6, so Ben's probably doing his stream right now. But like I said, I'm mainly just here. Oh, hey, Rhodey's joined. I'm mainly here to kind of get better at doing the stream stuff so that it's not a dumpster fire like every single time I try to do this for you guys. Because essentially, I'm trying to get better at it myself so that I can help Ike get set up so he can kind of do his shows and that sort of a thing. And then I'm hoping I can start getting the other guys from the shop in. Because honestly, like all the dudes at the shop all have some like crazy cool talents when it comes to certain aspects of like, well, all of it, but of guitar. And Gordo's like awesome with recording stuff. Eric is an amazing bass player. So it's like I just got to start getting some of those guys in on the streams. Jake is, his knowledge base when it comes to like the history of a lot of music gear is awesome, especially more like the companies and the people behind the stuff. So anyway, like I said, I'm basically just using this to kind of work out the gremlins, like Ryan said. So if it sounds good, I'm going to go ahead and try to switch over to the pedal part of it here in just a sec. Let me go ahead and get a drink of water here. All right, so yeah, if you guys think it sounds good, then I'll go ahead and kind of get on with, it's not really a show, I'm really just kind of doing this, so like I said, to test a few things, but I kind of thought some overlooked overdrives might be a good one to get into just because I didn't have a particular plan. So like I said, kind of impromptu, I thought a couple overdrives that we definitely get questions on, or like maybe people they've heard the companies, but they maybe haven't gone, like Frederick Effects, for instance. That's a company that we've had for quite a while now. A customer of ours actually turned us on to them. And they're a very small company out of England. And actually, he might even be just one builder. I'm not 100% sure. But very small company, but they make amazing fuzz pedals. And they actually have some overdrives, though, that I think are pretty excellent. We haven't, like I said, we haven't really demoed any of those before. So I figured that would be a good one to get into. Cool. So yeah, looks like a few of you guys are saying it sounds good. So I will go ahead and get into it. Like I said, I'm going to start with the Frederick Effects. It's the Golden Eagle. It's basically his kind of take on a clone style. So it's a another clone, which yes, those are definitely done quite often these days. But I think this one's a very very cool one. It's honestly Frederick, a lot of stuff. Like he does an amazing Super Fuzz clone that's called the Super Unpleasant Companion, which honestly is almost worth it just for the name. But that is by far like the house favorite for like Super Fuzz pedals. So if you guys haven't checked that one out too, definitely look into that one. But yeah, to give you guys an idea before I actually kick it on, essentially I'm doing the same thing I did the last time. I just have the Iridium going right into our mixer here. The Iridium right now, I actually set it more just because I'm more comfortable with kind of British amps. Ike is definitely more of the Fender guy. So I went ahead and set it to basically kind of a mild crunch on like a Marshall style amp, and then I'm going to go ahead and kick on that overdrive, and that's what you guys will be hearing. But before I do that, I'll definitely play a little bit of well, it's not really clean tone, but the crunch tone. All right, so what I'm going to do is also go ahead and cut the audio on the mic while I switch over to the pedal audio. So just give me 1 sec since I'm flying solo. Okay, just making sure my mic audio is back now. You guys let me know. Here, let me move that a little bit. All right, hopefully, did that sound all right? I was going to say, let me know if the guitar sounded okay, and then obviously I think the voice should be back now. Took me a second to, yeah, like I said, I got to basically click the monitor part on and off so it doesn't do that crazy feedback stuff that I'm sure you guys are all aware of. Honestly, that's my signature tone at this point, is that feedback. All right. Well, cool. So, yeah, Ryan, actually, it looks like both Ryans said it was good. So, I'll go ahead and get back into it. Essentially, I'm going to go ahead and back the gain back off on the pedal to probably, actually, I might as well just go down to the minimum. That way you guys can kind of hear it there. I'll go ahead and go up to about the middle spot, and then I'll kick it kind of all the way up. And I'll just kind of go through the pedal for a little bit, and then if I end up going too long, like I said, I'll try not to. But I'll go ahead and switch into those other ones. I essentially have two other overdrives that I brought with me. I grabbed the Tribute from Cattle and Bread, which kind of hits on this. I kind of would consider it like a sibling to this pedal, but it actually has a very interesting EQ, so that one I'm going to go ahead and mess with. And then I brought the Cusack Screamer Fuzz, which is actually more of like an overdrive fuzz combo, but I think it's pretty cool and doesn't really get nearly as much attention. Like, we try to get people to try it in the shop, and usually people will give it a go, but it's never anything anybody like walks in kind of looking for, Okay, cool. So yeah, it looks like a few guys said it sounded good. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch back to the pedal real quick, and like I said, I'll just kind of go through the gain on it. It's in that Klon family, so the tone control is obviously really more of just how much treble or how much high end do you really want coming through. A lot of people obviously use Klons as kind of boosts, but this one I actually feel like ends up adding a nice. For a Klon, it gets a little grittier, which I actually kind of like because a lot of Klons tend to be, a little bit smoother. So, anyway, I'll switch back over to the pedal audio real quick and see how it's going. And anybody else who jumped in, hi, like I said, thanks for watching. Anybody who is, because I'm really just, like Ryan said earlier, I'm just trying to work the gremlins out at the new space. So, thanks for bearing with me, especially with the audio swap over. All right, switching over real quick. All right, voice audio should be back. Let me get back to the chat real quick. Okay. Okay, so Terry's saying okay, so Terry's saying the guitar sounds a little quiet. Oh, hey Brad. Hey Terry. By the way, I should have said hey first. So yeah, Brad just joined. Terry joined. Okay, so Terry's saying the voice level sounds good. Okay, on the next part, oh, hey, there we go. Hey, Tim, I didn't see you too. How's it going? For any of you guys that just joined, I'll go ahead and clarify again. It's just me right now. Ike's at home taking it's not, he never really takes a day off, but it's sort of a day off today. But I'm just over here trying to basically work out some of the kinks that keep happening with the audio over at the new spot, so hopefully it sounds better tonight. Like I said, on the next playthrough then on the guitar, I guess Terry, go ahead and let me know if the guitar is a little too quiet. And yeah, like I said, thanks for watching too, because wasn't really expecting anybody to watch. I was really just kind of doing this to get better at doing it, you know. Practice makes perfect, or at least I hope it does. So yeah, let me go ahead and I'll get the audio back up real quick, and Terry, go ahead and let me know if you think it sounds good or not. And actually, let me go ahead and pop the chat out. That would be easier than having to. Yeah, there we go. Much easier. I can just leave that right here. There we go. So Paul says the video is flipped. Yeah, I went ahead and did the mirror this time because that way, like, if I'm using my left hand, it's my actual left hand. It just, hopefully that makes sense. If it looks weird to you guys, let me know and I'll swap it back. But if not, then I look like Tony Iommi or something, so that's cool too. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the guitar audio real quick. I can't actually see the chat with that part now, so you guys let me know if it's working or not, or if it needs to go up in terms of the guitar volume. Okay. Hopefully, did that sound better? I hope. Was that a little bit louder? Yeah. Apparently, I guess it is mirroring it for you guys too. So, I am actually left-handed, but I play right-handed. So, if I look left-handed right now, that's fine with me. I'm cool with that. But, like I said, if it's not one thing, it's the other, I guess. Or at least that's what Ike always says. So, all right. Yeah. If that sounded better, or if that sounded louder on the guitar part. If not, I can always increase that a bit. So, okay, cool. Oh, hey, Jeff. Jeff joined too. Hey, Jeff. Okay, so Terry's saying the level sounded about the same. All right. I will, here, I'll just juice it a little bit more over on the pedal board side of it then. Okay, and then basically, actually, I'll go ahead and honestly, since everybody's kind of heard the Golden Eagle, I'll go ahead and finish with this one in terms of trying to get the audio worked out, and then I'll go ahead and move over to the other one. So that way we get a little bit more of a mix. Right now, I'm just kind of working out the kinks. So yeah, let me switch over real quick. So Terry said, or no, Ryan said he had to head off. Well, thanks, Ryan. I appreciate you even tuning in. Oh, and yeah, you're taking a walk in the dark. Well, yeah, I was gonna say honestly, it's like freezing in here too. So if my playing's not all that great right now because I haven't been practicing. But if it's even worse right now, it's because it's freezing in this room. I got the heat kicked on, but it's snowing outside and nice and cold. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and switch over. Terry, give me one more like listen through. I won't go as long this time. Go ahead and let me know if it's a little better this time. Okay, cool. Terry gave me the what was that? The like I guess it's like 5 thumbs up. So that means it should be good then. All right. So if that sounds better and louder, I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the. I guess I need to get some kind of like transition music going here. But I'm gonna go ahead and try to switch over to the tribute from Cattle and Bread because that one. Well, I'll tell you guys about it, I guess, once I plug it in. So give me 1 second. I'm just gonna switch over to that part. Okay, so the I went ahead and muted the mic just so you guys didn't hear all the clacking. Um, okay. Oh yeah, I know, Jeffrey. The notifications sometimes on YouTube are nuts. Like even for my own personal account, I generally don't even get notifications when the shop goes live, which is kind of weird. Um, so anyway, let me talk about the tribute real quick, and actually let me see if I can find something that'll hold that still, because it keeps moving. Oh, here, that'll work. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so the Cattle and Bread tribute, basically, I think it came out. I don't remember exactly how long it's been. I feel like it's been about a year. Maybe not that long, but I feel like it's been close to a year. It definitely didn't get very much attention when it came out. I didn't think so, or at least it didn't feel like it surfaced. And to be honest, like a lot of people that try it tend to like. I don't want to say they have problems with the EQ, but it's because the EQ is actually backwards. So it's the opposite of what you think. So when you're over to the right side, you're actually adding lower end or low mids, and when you go over to the right side, which would typically be darker on most pedals, that's when you're actually getting lighter. So I end up getting like a lot of people that end up plugging in that pedal, and they always come up to the counter and say, it's too bright, or it's too nasally, or it's too, it doesn't sound good. And a lot of times it's because they have the EQ like all the way down. And so, as far as I can tell, I'm not going to say 100% that the tribute is a clone, but it to me it feels like a clone with basically a added EQ section. So instead of having that like center mids that's always just peaking right there at the center mids, you can kind of move it around. So if you want to like increase the low mids and get a little more push out of it, you can. If you want to move it over to like the high mids and get a little more cut, you can. You can also just get it a little more neutral. Oh, hey, looks like Metalhead, Hippie, and Weedy just joined. So, hey, Weedy, hey, Metalhead. Thanks for joining. For anybody who did just chime in, we just did the Golden Eagle from Frederick Effects, and now I'm switching over to the Tribute from Cattle and Bread. I'm really just kind of mainly testing out the streaming stuff here so that it's not a dumpster fire every time Ike and I try to do this. So yeah, right now, like I said, getting ready to give the tribute a go. I'm going to go ahead and probably, I guess I could go ahead and turn the gain all the way to the bottom. I'll probably put everything else pretty neutral and kind of go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the pedal audio, and I'll be right back. Let me know. Hopefully should sound good. I think we got it all worked out with the last pedal. So. Okay. Should be back to the vocal audio. All right. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Hey, Weedy, thanks again for coming, or at least watching for a bit. Hope you're doing well, man. Okay, cool. So Ryan says it sounds good. Terry said it sounded good. Looks like Ike's joined the chat, so he's keeping all you guys entertained. Ike said it looks backwards. Yeah, I tried to do the mirror thing because that was sort of what you were asking about, and it actually does work, but apparently it makes me look left-handed now. So I'm Tony Iommi for the evening. Anyway, as you guys can kind of hear from the Cattle and Bread tribute, super powerful EQ section, I think. Hopefully that came through in the stream. I mean, in here it went from like shaking everything in the room to being kind of nasally and kind of sharp, which would actually work for certain things if you're kind of going for like a real cutting tone. Main thing that I kind of love about the tribute is not obviously the EQ section, but it's not only a additive EQ section, it actually can be, it's active. So you can actually pull frequencies that you feel like are problematic. So like, let's say you're a clon guy, but you don't like the inherent mid-range, you could find that spot in the mid-range that you don't like and get rid of it. Or on the other side of it, let's say you're a tube screamer dude, you want to get away from a tube screamer, you want something with more, a little more character. The tribute's a great one if you're trying to look for something that has a much more powerful EQ. So yeah, I mean, I think it kind of hits that spot. And I mean, yeah, right now, I mean, obviously if Ike was here, he'd probably be playing some bluesier stuff. A lot of the rock and heavier stuff that's just my bag. So right now I basically just have the amp on like a mild crunch, and any pedal I'm pushing into it kind of just feeds the rest of it. And right now I'm not doing any other effects. If you guys want to hear, I guess let me know in the chat real quick if you guys do want to hear it with like some delay or even how it might stack with a fuzz. I do have the Demogorgon, I have my Naga Viper, I also have the Mr. Echo delay, and I have the Deco from Strymon as well. So if you guys want to hear it with a few other tones real quick, just let me know and I can go ahead and do that. Oh yeah, so Ike just commented about the guitars on the floor. I probably should have, I guess, explained that because I don't think I said anything about that at the beginning. Essentially, all these guitars in this area here. Here I can go ahead and shut the cannon off for a sec. Okay, so all the guitars over here on the floral area. Those are all guitars that Ike is working on with the all the people over at Blue Star. So they are kind of helping us thin the herd a bit when it comes to some of the donations, and Ike is trying to help them kind of select which ones are really worth salvaging. So that's what all that's about. um, okay, so Ryan asked to hear some delay with it. Let me go ahead and put it on there. Give me one sec. All right, so hopefully that sounded good. Through a little bit of delay from the Mr. Echo, which is one of my favorite delays. Kind of in the tape style delay, that's usually what I end up going with. So Ryan Elias was asking which amp and how is it set. So right now I basically have the Iridium on, which is emulating basically an old style Plexi. Um, Usually when I do these demos, I kind of just set everything to noon. Most of the time it ends up working out well enough, especially with the Marshall setting. I do feel like it is a good enough starting spot, and that way you guys kind of don't hear like the EQ of the amp really kind of entering into it. So, um, yeah. So if you have any specific questions about the Iridium, let me know, Ryan, because I love the Iridium, and most of the time right now, I mean, when we get further into this, I'll start integrating more of the amps and stuff. Right now, the Iridium's just the easiest thing to go into the mixer with. Doesn't require me to do, too much extra grunt work to try to get it all up and running. I don't have to, dial in too much extra stuff. So, and I actually have no idea how long I've been going at this point. I'm really just trying to, like I said, work out some of the kinks and see what you guys say. Uh, so that was the tribute from Cattle and Bread. I actually really, really love that one. Yeah, so yeah, Ike was saying we'll probably go ahead and get the D20 from Rev, the D or G20. That one, honestly, will be another really excellent one because that one we can kind of just live, or that one can live here. I was going to say we can just leave it here, but anyway, that one can just live here, and then that way we can uh, hopefully try to, just have like a nice tube amp that's always kind of on the ready for this stuff. I wish Ziggy could get me some more water, but unfortunately, no thumbs. Looked like you guys did see him checking out the guitars, though. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what suddenly smelled so interesting over there, but I guess it did. So yeah, for a second, I'm gonna go ahead and probably mute this guy and go ahead and switch over to my last pedal that I had for the evening, which is the Cusack Screamer Fuzz. Like I said, that one's I guess technically not an overdrive. It kind of walks the line into like the fuzz distortion kind of area, but I think it's a really cool one, and like I don't know, almost nobody ever comes in for it, but it's one of those ones like some people once they hear it, they're like, oh, okay, this is pretty sweet, and it's not usually on somebody's radar. So I thought it was another good overlooked pedal. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead and like I said, switch over to the Cusack pedal real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and mute this audio. Okay, so yeah, there we go. So the Cusack, and actually, yeah, I've kind of been thinking about. We'll see, because honestly, I would like to do this more. So if Ike and I can figure out a mutual way to do some like home stream type stuff, we'll probably figure that out at some point. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and try the Screamer Fuzz just to give you guys an idea about it. Essentially, it is for anybody who hasn't heard of Cusack Music. They are out of Holland, Michigan. Started by John Cusack, and no, it's not the actor John Cusack. John is a really interesting dude. He's actually more on like the engineering side of things, and he's kind of come up with a lot of the designs or innovations that kind of led to other pedals being possible. So he was like the first guy that came up with like tap tempo tremolo. So basically, without the tap-a-whirl, which was the first one that Cusack introduced, without that tap-a-whirl, that basically there never would have been any like tap tempo choruses, or well, not never, but he was the first guy to figure it out, and it enabled other people to do it much more quickly after that. So, and actually it looks like maybe the camera came out of focus a little bit. Let me see. There we, well, maybe. Yeah, it's close. Anyway, so, so it looked like Ryan actually had a question about the two notes revolt or revolt. You know, I think the dudes actually tried that one. I have not personally tried that one yet. So I'm hoping Monday, which, judging by how much stuff sold online today, I probably won't have time. But I'm hoping Monday I can give that one a shot, because I have actually intended to try that for like 2 weeks and just have not really. Well, honestly, Ike and I don't really get to try a whole lot of stuff out at the shop anymore. So that's kind of why we want to do this, because we don't get to do a lot of that on our own anymore. Like, not that we ever did, but it's definitely even less than it used to be. So we're kind of hoping now we can get back into playing more stuff, because a lot of the pedals that come through, you know, we get to play them with like customers and we get to hear them via that stuff, but we don't always get to, you know, play them ourselves unless we take them home and, you know, kind of give it a go. But anyway, back to the Cusack Screamer Fuzz. It's basically a hybridized kind of obviously tube screamer into a fuzz kind of circuit. It has 3 clipping modes. You can kind of see, like I said, hopefully that's, yeah, I'm actually going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to increase the size on this because I can. And then I'm going to try to refocus. Okay, no, it's here. Let's try to get that a little better. All right, I think that's about as close as I can do from this distance. All right. Okay, so the Screamer Fuzz, like I said, hybridized circuit of the tube screamer kind of going into a fuzz circuit. The clipping mode, which is that center switch you guys can see there. Right there. Yeah, that little switch there is the clipping selection. You can do silicone clipping diodes. And this is clipping diodes, not transistors, just so everybody is clear on that too. So you got silicone on the bottom. I believe it's LED clipping in the middle position, and then the final position I believe is germanium clipping. And that definitely gives you some added benefits. If it ends up jumping on any of those, like when I engage the clipping, just know that that's just how clipping works. Sometimes if it's like hard clipping versus soft clipping, or depending on what style it is, you can get some volume jumps. So just in case, you guys, I'm just letting you guys know in case it goes up in volume or anything like that. All right, let me go ahead and check the chat one more time. Yeah, it looks like everything's good. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the audio for the pedal. All right, there's my signature loud sound. That was awful there for a second. Sorry. All right, so hopefully that sounded all right. Hopefully you guys heard the clipping differences there. I went ahead on that last part. If it wasn't clear, I went ahead and switched to the neck single coil just so you guys had something other than just a hot humbucker. Cool. Yeah. So Ryan said it sounded good. Stargazer. Hi. Jeffrey. Cool. Yeah. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Anything else you guys want to hear in tandem with this one? So like I said, I can kind of too. I tried to get it at, if you bottom out one side or the other, it does kind of cut out, not cut out a little bit, but it basically kind of vetoes the other side. So you kind of have to have that little bit of a mix going on, but I think it's really cool, especially when you get the fuzz kind of interacting with the drive. And I guess if you guys want to hear that one with a little bit of delay too, I could go ahead and throw that in there real quick. All right, looks like Ike over there trying to keep me on my toes, telling me the audio's gone. All right, looks like it's fine though. Hopefully that sounded all right. Looks like I knocked the pedal out of position again. Let's say, let me go ahead and dial it in a little bit too, because I felt like I had a really good tone in one spot. And then I'll probably wrap it up. It's got to have been close to an hour. I haven't really looked at it, but I do appreciate anybody who's tuned in. And like I said, thanks for everybody that has let me know about the audio. You know what? Maybe I'll throw some flange on there and see what happens. All right, so for anybody who just saw Ziggs go running, apparently I'm playing so heavy I'm knocking or moving stuff in the building a little bit or somewhere over there. So anyway, he's good. I'm good. No, what spooked Ziggy was the thunderous tones going on in the building. He basically doesn't trust. He basically doesn't trust anything over in the corner now. But anyway, actually, that sounded great with flange. Hopefully, it sounded good to you guys. There goes my pick. Anyway, I thought that sounded pretty cool. I think that was pretty much it. If you guys want to hear anything else, let me know. But I really thought it sounded cool with the flange on there. That was actually a pretty fun, kind of inspiring tone there for a sec. Like I said, I do appreciate everybody who tuned in. Like I said, Eric's probably going to make fun of me for saying that, but I do appreciate everybody who watched because, like I said, I'm really just trying to get this dialed in so it's not awful every time. I think I only had one blaring noise this time, so hopefully that's good because, like I said, that seems to be the issue. Obviously, I'm just trying to get the kinks worked out so I know exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, thanks Paul, thanks Terry, thanks Metalhead Hippie. Thanks, Jeff, everybody who, Ryan, thanks to all the guys that did chime in and kind of let me know how things were going tonight. Like I said, I think hopefully that's probably close to an hour. I appreciate anybody who was watching. Like I said, this was more of an impromptu thing. I was going to actually do it tomorrow, but Ike ended up getting cool tickets to go see the Goonies, so that's our shop outing for tomorrow. So definitely Goonies take priority over the stream, unfortunately. But anyway, like I said, thanks a lot for everybody that watched. Probably go ahead and call it a night unless you guys have anything else in particular. Well, cool. Oh, yep, there's Dale. Dale out there, yep, right at the end, as always, like Terry said. Hey, Dale, thanks again. Like I said, thanks to anybody that did watch tonight. I think Ben was probably streaming tonight as well, so if I prevented anybody from watching his show, sorry, Ben. Like I said, I do appreciate anybody who watched. Hopefully, the more of these I do, the better I'll get at this stuff, because that's the goal. And hopefully here soon, Ike said he's going to go ahead and try to start maybe doing some shows here or there. So we're going to try to get that going too. The more I can figure this out, the easier both of us can get going with this stuff. So that is the goal. Okay, so Ben was over with Steve from Boston. Okay, cool. Well, cool. Like I said, yeah, it was a good night. I felt like I only had one major problem, and it went away fast. So I'm going to call that a win because that, never happens. Usually it's everything going to shit and then being tossed into a dumpster fire. So tonight actually worked, so I'm going to call it a good one. Well, thanks again for everybody who watched. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Peace.